What is up, podcast? What is up, Twitch? What is up, all my friends on YouTube and Instagram? This is the Raise for Lays podcast network. We are here in this killer studio, chilling with my friend Mario Lopez. We had a amazing talk earlier about all kinds of stuff. We want to continue the talk about all the stuff that's been going on in his life, all the stuff he's been doing. This is the Renaissance Man. We had interviewed him back in March, and we are back to find out what the heck's been going on with you, my friend.
Well, thanks again. Thanks for coming. I forgot it was March. Oh, thank you.
That was back in March, dude. It's almost been a year.
Yeah. I was like, when was it? Yeah, it was March.
Dude, it was March.
Yeah.
We're already in November.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I can't believe we're drinking in the morning, dude.
Well, we have. I mean, we're stressed. So we got a little Arizona bourbon is what.
Got you guys. Huh?
Arizona bourbon, beautiful. My favorite Arizona bourbon. The only drink, Arizona. If you want to sponsor me, don't be afraid to give me a call. Hit me in the DM. Beautiful drink because it's the only one I believe that still has high fructose corn syrup.
And all the other ones you said they have
like sucralose and like these fake preservatives.
Oh, okay.
This is what America was built on. High fructose corn syrup. This is why, bring diabetes back is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Bring it back. Cheers to Arizona.
Oh, yeah.
I love that stuff. Man, so last time we were here, you were in a big party. I rolled in, the gate was open. We were looking at all the paintings. You were doing you had a specific gallery showing here on the Renaissance theme.
Yeah,
which is crazy because, and you were telling me that what's really interesting is like Mexican American artists. A lot of you're famous for. Mario Lopez is famous, by the way, but you're famous for a lot of your Mexican American artwork that you do. Yeah. Everybody knows about that, but you wanted to kind of like step out of the box at that time you were talking about, and do this Renaissance theme. Talk to us again why that was so important to you.
I didn't want to be pigeonholed on like, oh, he's the guy that does Dia de los Muertos, or the cultural thing, which I do, and I love to do it. Yeah. But I also want people to see that there's that I can do more. So I decided to do a series of just Renaissance, and actually the new series I'm working on right now, it's bourbon.
Bourbon?
Well, actually, whiskey and cigars.
That's crazy. Yeah. Derek, if you're out there, Straight Lines of Bourbon on Instagram. Oh, yeah. We did a full-on, like an hour and a half show on bourbon.
Really?
And I don't even drink.
I'm a bourbon guy.
And you're a bourbon guy.
Yeah.
I had my friend Matthew the jeweler from PA. So we had a live stream with Straight Lines of Bourbon, and he knows everything about bourbon.
What episode is that?
I don't know.
I gotcha.
It's like 60. I don't know. There's so many. This is like going to be like. So I did 69 last night. So this is going to be number 70.
Oh,
this is crazy. When I first came here, it was like episode 3.
No way.
Yeah, it was like only my 3rd episode.
No way.
Yeah, I rolled in.
Jeez, you've been busy.
Dude, I've been knocking them out. I'm trying to get 100 by the end of the year, hopefully.
Oh, yeah. If you're going that fast, yeah, dude.
If I can knock them out. In the beginning, I didn't know what I was doing. I was like doing one every day. I was like recording. Hey, you want to record? Hey, you want to record? But ask my grandma, ask my tia. What do you like? Hey, what do you do? But now,
tell me stories, grandma.
Yeah, tell me old stories from Mexico. So it's like now I'm kind of like slowing down and trying to and just doing like 2 a week. But I'm almost at 100.
Yeah. I'm sure you get there before then. Dude, we just started in November, and you're at 70. So.
Yeah, it's been crazy. Yeah, it's been crazy.
Done.
And a lot of people. What was cool is like when I started. It was, of course, the show's about passion. Mm-hmm. So whether you're an artist, whether you're a guitar player, whether you're, it started with food because I love to eat. You can see my body. Yeah. I love to eat. And so I was on the food, I was on the cooking, and me and my son would barbecue in the backyard and do videos. And so the podcast started with just food people. I would interview food people with their passion. And then I met you. And so I'm thankful to you because you got me into this whole like art scene. And I forgot how much I loved art, how much I love paintings. And again, it's about passion. So really, it opened my eyes. After I met you, then I ran into your friend, Roger Art.
Yeah.
Who's freaking amazing Peruvian artist.
He's awesome.
Yeah. And so I went to his house just like this, just like we're doing here, and chilling in his living room, seeing all his paintings, interviewing him. And it was like that light popped in my head. It was like, dude, I can do I mean, passion is such a big, broad. I had just like you said, like pigeonholed, like how you were pigeonholed with Mexican art.
Yeah.
I was pigeonholed to like pigeonholed myself, like just do food. But no, passion is such a big, broad.
At the end, it just becomes like creatives. That's what it comes down to. You know, creatives. It could be, like you said, it could be a chef. It could be art. It could be, you know, somebody that sculpts or works with wood or works with metal. It's just the creatives. You know, and it is a passion.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I met you. We did this show. It was a killer party with all your friends, and hearing your story and how you created these paintings with actual people taking pictures in these costumes, that whole thing. Then met Roger Art, went to his house, talked about art, and then immediately, like the next week, went to the Santa Fe Springs Art Festival, saw your stuff displayed, and then met like this John the sculptor, and interviewed him and a couple of other Japanese artists who did like wood stuff like yourself, Wells and stuff like that. Met a bunch of artists there, and then just snowballed, bro. I was like interviewing all these artists, like this is freaking awesome.
Like because one door opens others, so it's and if you're like really into and appreciate art, like I said, it comes in many forms. So it's awesome. And there's a lot of people that might like something, but they're not like educated about it.
Sure.
And I don't mean like they're dumb or anything, just like they don't know about it. So by you talking about it and hopefully like, you know, what you're doing educates them and opens their mind. I'm like, oh, okay, that's why they do what they do. And you know, so that's awesome.
Yeah. It's been cool because it's not, I mean, people are getting, it's kind of like they get to they get to see your art. They get to see somebody playing guitar. They get to see somebody cooking a certain way. But for me, what's important is like the story, like how they started doing it. Like you started like actually, I didn't even remember. How did you start?
I've been drawing since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And then, doing little paintings here and there. And then after I got married, I started tattooing. So I've been tattooing for over 20 years and painting like professionally, I would say about 15 years. So
wow, that's crazy.
And now, I think paintings is where my heart is really set. Tattoos is cool because, it's another form of art. But I think my heart is set more on my paintings than anything else.
Nice.
Because it's something that's I've always said I always want to leave a mark before I go. Leave your mark for generations.
Well, tattoo, your mark's like going everywhere like that.
Yeah, but then after a while, we're all gone. We're only here for a little while. And these things are here forever.
These canvases are up forever.
Yeah. And that's for me. I just want to, I don't know. I don't want to sound like narcissistic or anything like that, but I want to make sure people knew I existed with my art. You look at art history books and you look at like, man, look at that. That was done by, Raphael, like Michelangelo and Leonardo and they're still there. They still exist, So that's to me though, like those will always be the masters. And to be like at least not even a quarter
in that realm.
Yeah, in that realm, at least, like, kind of get in that circle. We're like, okay,
yeah.
I don't know. It's
awesome because, like, we were talking about that last time. It was like, that's why I call you the Renaissance man. It's like that whole thing is so lost. Like that whole art is so lost. Like putting it on a canvas, actual paint on the canvas. And what I mean by that is because it's so easy to just grab your computer.
Oh yeah.
And just pop in pixels and squares and you can make the painting, and that lives on in NFTs. Like, what do you think about NFTs?
I don't know, man. I'm not convinced, man. I'm not convinced. I'm not so convinced yet.
Because the argument would be that could live on even longer because it's in the digital world. But what do you think about that?
It'll never be an original. You can't create something on. Say you create something digital and because you could do paintings, digital, and you print it, and even if you do that first print, it's still not the original one.
That's funny. Roger talks like almost exactly like what you're saying.
That's funny.
Like
man.
He's the same way.
Yeah, because it's like I paint something and then I do a print off this.
Yeah,
and I could tell it's many print, but there will always be an original. You know, the one that actually was hand rendered and, you know, oils on there and mixed and blended and everything. And
the work was done, the sweat, the tears,
and that's, I appreciate that more. It's just like watching cartoons or animation.
Oh.
And I'm a big time 2D animation fan.
You like that stuff?
3D is cool, but 2D is always I have more appreciation 2D because it's hand rendered page by page.
Dang.
You know?
Yeah, each shot they're taking
each shot is like, you know, drawn, painted, next cell, same thing, next, and it takes years to do one film.
Dang.
So, and now with 3D, you know, you do the model and now you can pose them anywhere you want.
You can move them around.
And it's like, people call it cheating. People call it like, and it's awesome. I do like it. And it's cool when they mix both of them in.
Yeah.
But I appreciate 2D way more. Or maybe I'm just old school, man. I just appreciate 2D way better.
Yeah.
Anything hand rendered that you actually, like you said, you sweat, tears, and
because at that moment you were creating it. There's this like I don't know, like when I'm writing something, like I'm into that, I'm focused in on that piece of writing.
Right.
And the same thing for you. Like when you're painting, you're into that vision that you have in your mind, and it's coming out on the canvas.
Yeah.
So like, is that what the essence of that, or is that just the beginning of what you're trying to say? Like, it's that moment of creation, I guess, is what I like. Like, that's what I like about interviewing people that do things like yourself, like a painter, like a guitar player that's in the moment and playing a tune. It's that moment of creation that really.
Oh yeah. It's the conceptual part. So it's like people have asked me, like, if you were, because I do have a bachelor's in animation.
Oh dang!
But
that's awesome.
That's never gone anywhere. That's not doing anything for me. You know, you still got to know people.
Yeah.
But it's they've asked me if you were to get offered a job at Pixar or Disney or Warner Bros. Or whatever, what is it exactly you would want to do? And animation has like a crap load of departments.
Oh yeah.
My focus would be in conceptual. Conceptual art. They bring you the script, they bring you the descriptions, and you're like, all right, let me picture this character. And you draw that character like 20 different ways.
And then they pick from there.
And then like, oh, I like this. She's on this one. And then you put it together. And then once you create it, it's like, cool. Then you send it off. Nice. You just send off your baby you created.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the conceptual part. And I think I love conceptual because of tattoos. They come in as like, hey, I want a dragon, but I want to doing this and this.
And they're not quite sure.
Yeah. Like, and then I'll just create something. And they're like, oh yeah, it's even better than I thought.
They're like, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah. So that part, I guess, is pushing me more. Like, if I was to have an opportunity at an animation studio, that's where I would want to go.
There you go. Pixar, give Mario a call. He'll do the conceptualization. So it's the process. It goes back to the process.
Yeah.
It's that whole process.
Yeah. And even like you said, writing. When you said writing right now, it reminded me. I had this conversation with somebody that even writing a letter, handwritten letter, and mail it out,
dude.
If you think about it, it's a lost art.
I don't know anybody. Have you did that recently?
I've been thinking about it, but I used to
write each other letters.
There you go. Want to be my pen pal?
Let's be pen pals. That'd be awesome.
No, seriously. I mean, when was the last time you ever did that? Have you ever done that?
When I was in the Army back in my in my early 20s.
Oh, okay.
Because we didn't have phones. We had phones, but they were flip phones.
Yeah. There was no texting.
They weren't smartphones. So I mean, I'm 47. That was in my 20s. So yeah, you'd have to write home.
Yeah.
I wonder how it is in the Army right now. Like, do they have phones and they're like texting?
I'm sure. Yeah.
They probably text your mama.
Yeah.
And do it. Back in that, we had to handwrite a 1-2 page letter. What went down the past week? You wrote it all out.
Yeah, I remember with my wife. I'm 48, so
same age.
I used to, send her letters. So she has a box of letters that I've sent her.
Yeah.
You know, so
I do remember some moments of that. I can't mention them because my wife's watching the show, but I do remember that. I do remember those days. That's awesome.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just lost art, and it goes back to paintings. You know, back in the days, even up to like the 60s and 70s, people would get family portraits painted. And then it became
even in the 60s, people would go to.
I'm sure because I'm thinking because of my
photography. When did photography like kind of kick off? Like, well, you always had photography way back in the day. It was like the kind of wind up type photography, and then the freaking with the black thing.
No, because I'm saying that because one of my aunts, she in her living room, she had a painting of her kids.
Oh, that's freaking
awesome. This was done like I'd say late 60s, early 70s. And it was an actual 60s, painting. 70s. Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm like, that you rarely see that anymore.
No, you don't even see it in people's houses like that.
Now it's just all, it's all photographs. It's at a studio. It's
because when we were
shots,
kids. Yeah, dude, exactly. Like when you were a kid, I bet you we went to Sears, huh?
Oh, yeah. Or JCPenney.
JCPenney. You get the Christmas shot every year, or the Thanksgiving shot. And then they wouldn't text it out. You'd have to get prints and you have to mail that to everybody.
Yeah.
To grandma and tias. You have to mail 40 people in your family. That's crazy.
Yeah. So now it's like, if you think about it, like, the ones that actually have actual paintings, like portraits, are the people that are.
They must have been well off because the
well off people that are, now, they're like, oh, this is a painting of my kids.
Dude.
But now, like, during this time, I'm actually going to post, because this is the time when I started taking orders of anybody that wants family portraits.
Wait, when they order that from you,
and I give them
painting.
It's a painting.
Oh, so you were bringing that back, Renaissance man. I'm telling you,
trying to bring it back. So
that's crazy.
So this is the time when I started posting and like, all right, if anybody wants any paintings and of their family, this is when to do it. Because then after a certain time, it's because it's a
how
Christmas
are you gonna?
gift.
How are you? Yeah, like how many do you get usually? Like per average per year?
Shoot. Quite a few, but there's only a limit because
like you only have so much time because you've got to, like, we're going back to it. You have to actually hand paint that. You have to paint that thing.
Yeah. And depending the size too, the size that I started for pretty much that size, which is 16 by 20.
There's another thing. You have to think about the size before you even put the order in.
Yeah.
Because you can just take a picture and then you can do whatever size you want. With a painting, you got to just say, they got to come to you and say, I want this size. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And they start off at 400 for a 16 by 20 and it's framed and everything.
Dang.
So, and then after that, they're like, oh no, I want a bigger one because I want like my whole family in there. So obviously the price goes a little bit.
There's another thing. So you can't fit everybody in a thing like that? Because you'd have to be like really tight.
I could, but then it'll be more than 400.
Oh, okay.
It's easier if I could do like up to 2 people. I can do that price.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and that's a 16 by 20.
It's a 16 by 20.
Yeah, so if I put 2 people that, it'll be the same price. But once they start adding 3, 4, 5, then I gotta put the price up a little bit because it's gonna take longer. There's more people in there.
Yeah, right. And you got to squish everybody in because that's not huge. It's 16 by 20, but
it's a good size.
It's a good size.
Yeah, it's not too big and it's not too small.
It's perfect for a living room, like a hallway.
Yeah, hallway. Yeah. And there's I've done some like this size here.
Whoa.
It was a family portrait. It was dad, mom.
Oh, this is the perfect
2
size.
kids.
Actually, this thing's beautiful.
Yeah, it was dad, mom, 2 kids, and 2 grandkids.
Dad, mom, kids, and 2 grandkids.
Yeah, and they all fit nice. Because the bigger you do it, if it's a lot of people, the bigger you go, the more detail I can go. But if you want it smaller,
you got to squish all that.
I got to squish all that, so there's not going to be as detailed.
Okay, so you can maneuver.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But it usually takes say I get a bunch of 16 by 20s. It takes me maybe anywhere from about a week.
A week to finish all of them?
A week per painting.
Oh, a week per painting.
Yeah.
Dude, I can imagine.
Yeah, and then if because I'm working on usually 2 or 3 at the same time. So I'm not working on one only. So
you got a process.
Yeah,
so kind of
and it helps me because I'm like, just what do you call that? ADD?
ADHD?
Yeah.
Well, you're an artist.
Because I'm like, I can't. I'll get bored. Like, I got to jump on something else. I got to carve. Oh, I gotta, yeah.
I'm like that too. That's why I just jumped out. And that's why in the interview I jumped out of my seat and started taking pictures. I'm like a squirrel. Everything that catches me. So I started. Oh, and by the way, bongos. I just saw bongos.
You get distracted real quick.
I get crazy distracted. And the cards went by. That's crazy, dude. So there's so much that. No wonder people went to photos because there's so much things to think about. Like you have to think about the size. The how many people are going to be in there, and I bet you there was a lot of arguments like, hey, we only have a 16 by 20. So Thea, you can't be in the picture. Only immediate family can be in the photo.
Yeah. Oh no. Another thing is too, is that I've done stuff where, say it's a bunch of brothers and one of them passed away. I'll just add them on there. Like they'll bring me a picture. And once it's painted, it looks like, they were all there.
Yeah.
Cause I could put one, say he's like this. I'll just paint him doing this.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, you could manipulate it to whatever.
With CGI, you have to kind of squeeze it in, and it looks kind of like
a little warp. Or
nowadays, you can.
I mean,
it's almost perfect nowadays. Yeah. But before, it'd be like, that's freaking. They brought that together. Like you can tell, it's all.
Yeah. You really have to know how to work. Like
Illustrator.
Yeah. And but I mean, if you go to somebody's home and you happen to see a painting of somebody, it's almost rare. Like, oh shoot,
I've never seen a painting of anybody, dude. You're the first one to tell me about like somebody.
Okay, well, it's.
Oh, you know what? Well, Roger, of course.
Oh yeah,
but he painted his whole family. Like,
yeah. Roger,
and one of each.
Roger paints every day.
Oh, he does.
He paints. That guy is insane, man.
He's amazing.
Yeah, so it's like stop painting that much, man. You're making me look bad.
Exactly, dude.
Yeah.
But he's old school. He's like you. He was in that. He was in the business of graphics arts, and he was doing it and he talks about that, like how he just like after a while he just hated like the same. He goes, there goes my piece. There goes my piece. There.
Oh yeah.
Never that original. He said just like you. Like it was never that original one is the one that's his baby. Like he was even talking about that.
Yeah, and that's how we met. We met at a.
You guys are working at the same place?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah,
crazy.
At a apparel company. We were in the graphics department.
Oh yeah.
So that's when we met, and right away we clicked, man.
Oh, of course. You used to talk things. You guys finish each other's sentences.
Yeah, that's funny, man. So that's my art, bro.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's a lost art. Another lost art is photography, like film, like we were talking about earlier, like cameras. I was showing you my old school camera.
Yeah.
Like even that one, it's digital, but it's still got the kind of textures of kind of like the old digital style.
Yeah.
But then I was tripping out because I went to just go get a strap. I just wanted a strap for the camera.
Yeah.
I went to remember the photography store in Uptown Whittier?
That old one?
The old one?
Yeah.
Dude, that used to be like the most innovated, hippest when we were in the 80s.
Yeah.
You go there now, there's like all these old cameras, like they still do film, like they still process film.
Not too long ago, the wife and I were walking by and I'm like, how does this store still exist here? How do they survive?
100%. We'll try to talk to the guy. I go, so do you guys have like straps? And he's like, no. He's like, ever since they got rid of film, kind of just been waiting around because it's like we don't even buy and it's so expensive. We're just waiting around because everything comes from China and it's so expensive. Yeah. And it's like these old guys just talking like at a coffee shop.
So that's just their hangout.
Just hang out. It's their hangout.
Like I
don't know how they survive.
Rent? Or do you own the building or what's up?
They're waiting to die or they're waiting to
because I've been there once. And it was just this one old guy there, and I was like, "How is he surviving? How does he? Is this a front for money laundry or
something, dude? There's some.
Pay rent.
Yeah, nicest people in the world.
Oh yeah,
but it was like going back in time.
Yeah.
Because they were like, no, we don't carry any retail stuff anymore because you can just buy it on Amazon. He sat with me and showed me which one to buy on Amazon, which is crazy. Who does that as a business? But that and then all the cameras, none of them all around the whole building were digital cameras. They were from like the 20s. Back to like
35 millimeters,
the ones with it looks like an accordion coming out that, all the way to the more modern, like the 40s and the 50s and 60s. So it's more like collectible cameras and stuff like that. But they're just waiting. Like, it was like going back in time. But I remember when I was a kid, that place used to be like so innovative. They had Kodak film everywhere. And
Polaroid film.
Yeah, Polaroids and everything.
Yeah, because I went in there asking for Polaroid because I had got on a state sale. I got like an late 70s, early 80s
Polaroid camera.
Polaroid camera.
Sweet.
And it was the one that pops up.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like a brown leather one, so you can carry it.
Oh, they're tight.
And I remember I took it to Disneyland once.
Where like the outside is like the cover of it.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of like it's rectangle like that. Yeah. It's probably about yay thick. And then when I would take a picture, I was like, and people were like, "Oh, that's pretty cool."
That's awesome.
But after a while,
so you found the film?
I found the film at Outfitters.
Urban
Outfitters. They sell the film there.
Isn't that like a clothing store?
It's a clothing store / book / accessories /
I gotta go in there too.
Yeah,
I've never been in there. Oh my god! / Polaroid.
Yeah, and it was, and it's crazy because it's like, it takes a film, it does everything, and I'm like, how is it? It has no. You don't put batteries on it, so how does it?
What do you mean? There's no power to it?
No, there's no power to it. So you don't. Obviously,
It's mechanical.
It's mechanical.
What the hell?
Yeah, I actually ended up selling it at eBay.
Oh, dude, that's a.
I kind of do regret it because but I got it at a state sale for like $30, and I sold it on eBay for like $200.
Oh hell yeah! So
but still, I was like, I should have just kept it though.
That could have been that we could have had it right here.
Yeah,
a little museum piece.
Yeah, I'll paint one.
Cheers to that Polaroid camera. Here's the old Polaroid camera. Whoever's having fun with it on eBay. They're probably taking pictures of their dog or something.
Yeah, no, it was cool. It was cool.
Dang, that's crazy. Yeah, dude. So, dude, it didn't. I mean, cameras. The far back that I can remember is they had batteries. That one didn't even have no batteries. Like,
no, dude. I was trying to figure it out. I was trying like, okay, where does the power come from? Because as soon as I take it, you hear the. How is it doing that?
Like even a watch has batteries.
Yeah,
like that thing didn't have no batteries.
Maybe when it does that, it winds itself, or I don't know, man.
That was the magic of the 60s.
Yeah, dude. It was. Yeah, I'm still tripping. Like I'm still trying to think. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Dang, maybe it ran out by the time you sold it to the guy. He's like, "It's not working." I was like,
no, and then it's cool because then you turn it over and it tells you right there, like 5 more shots, 4 more shots.
Oh yeah,
like that little screen. It's about this big, and you can barely see the number.
I remember the ones that had the wind. And and then you have 5 more, 4 more.
And I still have I still have a 35mm camera that I found not too long ago. It's in my office, and I'm like, I put the batteries on because it takes 2 AA's.
Yeah,
and then you need the 35. The film, the little roll that we would always get.
You should put it in.
Yeah, so I just put it on to see if it still works, and it turns on and everything. And I'm like, damn, I need to get me some film.
That's the hard part, though, getting the film. Even those guys had they have this whole shelf with like squares where they had like all the film used to be. I remember when I was a kid. Yeah. Well, all of it's empty except for one square, and there's like 3 little pieces of film in there. That's it. What are you guys doing?
They don't develop film or anything like that.
I think they do. They do develop film. That's one thing they do. Yeah. That's it. Because they also used to sell film.
Right.
But they refuse to buy it. It's too expensive right now.
Jeez. I have like 5 rolls from I don't know when that was. Yeah. That I'm like, I got to find a place to see if it develop these, because this could be shots from when my kids were small or something. Because right now they're 26 and 24.
Dang.
So
I have an underwater camera that I took to Hawaii years ago. The one that you would buy at Walmart.
Oh yeah.
It's still undeveloped. It's just the camera. I have the camera. But there's pictures from Hawaii in there, like crazy.
Yeah, you need to develop those.
I'm gonna have to get some I'm gonna have to go to that long hair dude up there and see what he says. It's crazy, man. Yeah, there's so many lost arts, and the process of creating that 1 of a million type of painting, or that 1 in a million photograph. Did you see that documentary with what's his name, the photographer from LA, and cartoon, the tattoo?
Oh yeah. I've seen that.
That was a sick.
Yeah,
because you see the development of like when they were hanging out with Cypress Hill and everything like that.
Yeah.
And then as the years go by, then same thing happens to what's the photographer's name? I remember.
I can't remember his name, but that was Cartoon's.
It's Cartoon's buddy.
Yeah.
He's like he ran the same situation. Like they didn't have no film anymore. Like he could only go to one place to get the film processed.
Yeah.
He couldn't buy any film.
Yeah.
Everything was going digital. So there's that whole crazy thing.
Yeah.
It's a trip.
Yeah. I mean, now they have the what I do like now in regards of photography is that, you know, on your phone you have like over 1,000 shots of whatever, you know.
Oh yeah.
And now it's pretty cool that you can download all that into like a book.
Oh,
so you know how back then it was like an album, and it's like you open it up, it's the plastic sheet, and
you have to put them in.
Yeah, you have to put them in there, and it's like, you know, sometimes they're even they get stuck together. Yeah,
it's like masa on it.
Yeah.
For the party. Dude.
Yeah, so it's like, and then you try to like, oh, let me take this picture out so I can take a picture of it with my phone, and you're like, it almost tearing apart because it's like
you can't. Yeah,
the adhesive was like, oh shit,
it was like concrete.
Yeah,
like cement.
So I mean, but that's what's cool about now that you can download and you know, put it into a book.
Yeah. And, well, you got to be careful with that though, because remember Grandma's one closet, which was like stacked of all the books. So there was nothing in there but like years from the 40s all the way to today, like all the way from the 40s to the 80s. I just like my mom. So my grandma had that whole closet full of all the pictures.
Yeah.
And so of course she passed away years ago. Now all those pictures are in my mom's closet. And so
they just from one closet to another closet.
One closet to another closet. There's albums. Remember the covers had like always like flowers.
Oh yeah.
Like green and blue
something
flowers.
Intricate or something. Yeah.
It's like, so there's boxes of that stuff.
Yeah.
And then the envelope. When you get the film, picture, the pictures.
Yeah, it has the negatives too.
Yeah, the negatives, just in case you want to like do them yourself, I guess, at home. I don't know why they give them.
Yeah, I don't know what was the point of that. We didn't have a freaking
we just paid you to make the pictures. Like
what do I do with these? Look at them and
do I put them in water? Do I put them in water and they go?
Or maybe you take those back for more copies.
Probably. Yeah, it makes them. You had to take them back. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Like, I want more copies though. I need the negatives.
Yeah. See, we're discovering things here on Race Plays. That's crazy, man. But you've been so fast forward now. Let's take the time machine back to today. You've been doing all kinds of things for Halloween. Gargoyles. I saw some gargoyles you were doing.
Yeah. It's kind of like some like ghosts, reapers, something kind of like that.
Dang. Who were you doing that for? Can you say who you were doing that for?
Well, now I can't because she already posted it. So we did that for Kim Kardashian.
Kim Kardashian. Yeah. Awesome.
So we did 25 of those Reaper ghosts, and then we did like 700 hands.
700 hands?
That, you know, like they're coming out of the ground.
Yeah, those things look crazy. How did you end up making those hands?
Well, we went to her house. So we went to her house and we got her to mold, you know, we molded her hand.
They're her own hands.
Yeah, her own hands.
Mold of her own hand.
Yeah, we did both of her hands, but the only thing that we told them that not to curl their fingers too much. When we do the molds, whatever goes up, it's not going to catch. So one of her hands was perfect. The other hand was a little bit too much where it was curling up. So we couldn't do. We didn't do.
So you did a bunch of right hands.
Yeah, pretty much. And then we molded her kids' hands and some of her friends' hands.
That's awesome. So it was like a molding party?
If you want to call it that, yeah, sure, yeah.
You said that though when I asked you. You said it was like a molding part. No. She said that. She says that on the post. Check it out. Go to Kim Kardashian if you want to see those hands and the gargoyles. It is an amazing display in front of Kim Kardashian's house. Kim Kardashian, if you want to come on the show, talk about it. But amazing display that Mario and his friend did for her Halloween display, which is freaking incredible, and it looked dope.
She's really nice too, man.
Yeah, she's cool.
Yeah, really, really nice.
Awesome. See you. Very nice, Kim. Come on to the show. Race Plays. Awesome. There was gargoyles, there was hands, there was like this tower of hands too. Like, wasn't there a tower?
Yo, there was a tower of like skeletons and skulls and stuff like that. So what happened is that this company, Made First, they have, I guess, the account for that. They were hired for that.
Made First?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so they outsource us to do like the hands and the ghosts or reapers or whatever you want to call them. And that's how we were brought in to do that. So
dang,
it was pretty cool, man, because when he told us like, hey, we need to go to Kim's house to mold her hands, and we're like, oh, Okay, cool.
We're going to Kim's house.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So yeah, she has a beautiful house, and
that's dope.
Yeah, her she has some little dogs that just wouldn't.
Little ankle biters.
What is it called?
Pomeranians.
That I can never say that.
Yeah, she has a bunch of Pomeranians.
Yeah.
They attack you?
No. They're just
yapping. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Like, good thing I'm not filming today. I'm just putting hands in clay, or else you'd ruin the shot.
Yeah. But no, other than that, I mean, we're doing it all in there's a kitchen part.
Yeah.
Not an actual like house kitchen. She's got a kitchen like the chef's kitchen.
Oh damn!
So
wait a minute. Wait. So what do you mean? There's not a house part?
It's not a kitchen where you go in and it's got an island and the countertop and stuff like that. No, this is a separate kitchen, like a restaurant.
So they do have a regular kitchen.
I'm assuming they do
somewhere in the fifth floor or something.
Yeah, and then
this is like a special kitchen.
like a restaurant kitchen,
like a cookery area.
And that's we met her chef, and really cool dude.
Dang, what's his name?
Gabriel,
chef Gabriel, come on the show.
Oh yeah, no, and this guy is like on it, man. And then we molded his hand holding a knife.
Oh,
so you can see it. You can see it on her. Like, oh, this is my chef's hand. We only did one. The one we did, that's the only one that's on there. We didn't do a mold of that because it was too difficult to do the knife because it's too thin.
Oh,
so that was just a one-off, and then but really, really cool guy.
That's dope. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. When I saw it, I was like, dude, did you like sculpt these hands, or how did you do these? Because hands are difficult. Like to paint hands, like when you paint hands, isn't that like I heard it's like the most difficult thing to draw? Is that true?
I don't know.
Am I wrong?
I no, you do hear that a lot. I guess I've been doing it for so long that it's not a thing.
Does it seem hard to you?
No, I can't say.
Oh, crazy! Because a lot of artists will hide the hand.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that. Yeah, and it's all. And the way the thing is that if you're gonna start drawing and painting, you got to see everything as shapes and not for what they are. So you draw a hand, you're not drawing a hand, you're drawing shapes and little cylinders, and that's what you. If you have that in mind, you're not gonna be like, oh, what up, the finger is wrong. And like, no, it's just little cylinders, like just think of little cylinders and then like a flat sort of cylinder, like, like they squished it. Yeah.
Wow.
So you got to think of it as shape and not.
They get too focused on like the details, and then it.
Yeah, that comes afterwards.
It morphs everything.
Yeah, everything else is just getting the actual pose of it. I don't know how to explain that, but
no, that's crazy. Because that's
like you can't draw this and be like, oh, I can't draw the microphone. Don't think of it as a microphone. Think of it as a shape. That's what thing. And there's a thing when I was going to school that it was a good example that the teachers, we got a picture of a horse and they turned it upside down and they're like, all right, draw that. And a lot of people had a difficulty, drawing an upside down horse. It was coming out all warped, but because they were looking at it as a horse and not as a shape. And I've been drawing since I was a little kid. And when I went back to school, I was already 27. Yeah. So I was already tattooing. I was already doing a little painting here and there. But I went back to school because I wanted to get my animation degree.
Yeah.
So all these, Art 101 or whatever was like pretty easy because it's like, okay, I've been doing this for quite some time. And pretty easy.
For you were just refining things. It was like learning how to actually draw.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. And I remember this from high school. Teacher there that's where I got the whole thing about drawing shapes and not for what they are. And that stuck with me. And ever since then, I've always been doing it that way. When I paint something, I'm not painting like an arm with the drape, and I'm drawing shapes. That's what I'm doing.
Dang, that's a trip. That's a trip.
So, but I mean, regardless, those 3.5 years of school for my degree, you could go in there and be like, I already know everything. You don't, man. Even now, I'm still learning stuff. There's little things like, oh shit, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
And then like with Roger too. With Roger, like he'll show me some stuff, and I'm like, oh shoot. That's cool. I didn't know you could do that. It's techniques. That's all it is.
Techniques and stuff.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, because do you think a lot of like right now, a lot of the newer artists are probably a lot of the time goes into trying to learn software now.
Oh yeah.
As opposed to trying to learn technique, and because they're like, well, I wonder how the newer generation of artists are coming out of school. Like, are they saying like, I want to focus on details and canvases like Mario does, or are they coming out of school? Let's figure out how to get this canvas onto the digital realm, and get it out to more people.
Yeah,
I wonder what the mindset is for the newer artists.
I think if you're going to school, they're teaching you the fundamentals, which is the old school stuff.
Nice.
Which is like perspective and. Color theory and all that, which it should be. It should be that way. And those people that are like just want to do digital might find all that like boring or like, that's not what I want to do.
Yeah, and they quit.
And they quit, and they're like not as focused because that's not what they want to do.
Because they want to get on Instagram as fast as they can.
They want to, they want to get into the digital part yet. But like when I went, it was like the first 2 years was like just hand render, old school, and I loved all that. Once it got to the digital part, I'll be honest with you, I started hating it.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to do this. This is what I want to do.
That's trippy. It's because when you meet like Ramon, Ramon. Like, he's the art director at Young Nail. So his focus, of course, he went to the same school as you did. You guys both know that kind of old school ethic, and he does. He's totally in the digital world, and he's gonzo on that. I mean, like he's on Twitch and all kinds of other crazy things. But you're keeping it like old school, and I love seeing this. I love seeing this. I like that's what that first. I remember the first time coming in here and seeing like actual paintings. I was like so because. Even in a museum, like even in a lot of museums, you'll still see like digital stuff being brought into the show, like a projector shooting out some sort of digital image, or something like that
of a painting or
a painting, and so I hope we don't lose that. There's something about the texture, something about looking at the texture of a painting up close, and seeing the textures and seeing the lines,
brush strokes
and all the process that you were talking about earlier, and the passion that goes into it. There's something that you can't duplicate that on a phone.
No. You could, but it's not the same. It's not the same
like
feeling.
It's
not the same feeling. It's not. I mean, you could do. I mean, nowadays it's. I mean, like Photoshop and Corel, like all these programs where you can actually paint digitally. It's you can make it where you can get a brush and have like a brush stroke and.
Oh really?
Yeah, you can do all that. But once you print it,
you can't see. It's flat.
Yeah, it's flat. You don't see like, there's the actual brush stroke and you can see like
some paintings, if they're thick, or like there's globs of paint. You can see it. I like to see that, if it's a kind of an abstract painting where there's more paints in certain areas, you can see the blotch of paint. I like that. It's
I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just an old soul or something, man. But I just love the old school, the fundamentals of it. Like actually, we're planning a trip for next year. The wife and I and my boys to Italy.
Oh, see the real paintings.
Oh, see the real stuff.
And everything.
See the architecture. See the old world.
Yeah.
So I can't wait for that, man. So I might not want to come back.
You might not want to might stay in Italy, especially with the pasta.
No,
forget about it.
Yeah, forget about it.
Awesome, man. This, guys, is the guy. If you want to go and see the Renaissance type stuff, go to his Instagram page. What's your Instagram? Mario Lopez, right?
Mario Lopez Art.
Mario Lopez Art. There is no other way to do it here in America, because here's the thing. You're either going to have to fly to Italy or you're going to have to fly to some country in Europe to be able to see this kind of stuff. Mario Lopez is doing it here in Whittier, Santa Fe Springs area. This is how you can see it. Mario Lopez Art on Instagram is keeping the old traditions alive, keeping the passion alive. That's what he does with art, the Renaissance man. My man, thank you for doing this.
Thank you, sir.
Always good to see you.
Awesome, man.
Always good to talk to you.
Thanks again,
I would cheers you, but all you have is left is ice.
Oh, a little bit of it's in there.
Nice.